All right, this is just a little review for the test. The first section, they give you some triangles and they say classify them by their sides and classify them by their angles. So I'm not going to give you a list. You're going to have that list inside your head. All right. So if I classified angle or triangles according to the sides, what names of triangles do we have according to the lengths of their sides? Give me one. Scalene. Okay, scalene would be one. Isosceles would be another one. And equilateral would be another one. Equilateral. Wow, I'm writing horribly today, but that's okay. Are there any other ones according to the sides? That's all I can think of. What if it said according to the angles? What are my options for classifying? Obtuse, okay, would be one type of triangle according to its angles. What's another one? Right. I heard acute. Is there another one? Equiangular. Right, equiangular. All right, so those are the different types of triangles that we could classify according to the angles. All right, so if I say, here's a triangle, name it according to its sides and name it according to its angles, you need to have two answers, don't you? Everybody with me on that? And I'm not going to give you this list. This list needs to be in your head. You need to know those words. All right, they need to be able to, you just have to be able to pop them out there, okay? You need to know what those words are. Okay, so I'm not going to give you a list. You got to know that list. But there it is right there. Did you write it down? Okay. All right, so that would be, you'll have a couple questions. You'll probably have to do that. All right, now let's draw, was it 4 through 7? Let's draw that and go through this whole thing. Look, even if you got these, still pay attention because you still might be able to see something. Maybe I do something a different way than what you did it, and you might think, oh, that's a little easier than what I was thinking. You never know. So even if you got these right, it will do you some good to pay attention anyway. 3, that's 1. Is this one 4 right here? Okay, because it's not written in my book. It's weird how they, the teacher's book and the student's book are a little bit different here. This is 62 degrees. This is angle 2, and this is 32 degrees. All right, here we go. We're just trying to find all the angles. Let's list them. Angle 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I could very well give you something like this on the test, give you one picture, and these are all separate problems, okay? So you get one problem is to get angle 1, 2, 3, 4. Now look, one angle might be dependent that you got the other one correct. You follow me? So what if you missed one angle and you had to know this angle to get the other one? You're going to get both wrong. All right, so you got to be careful. Make sure that you're getting the first one right in order to get the next ones. Now look, you don't have to go in order with these. Okay, you don't have to find angle 1 first. In fact, you may not even be able to find angle 1 first. You might have to find something else. What's the easiest? Out of all 4 of these angles, what's the easiest? Why is angle 4 the easiest? It's a vertical angle. That's right. Because look, I'm trying to find this angle right here, and it's right across from this one. And they're called vertical angles. What's true about vertical angles? They're what? They're equal to each other. So if this is 125, what's this angle? That's 125. Now it was angle 4, so we're going to write 125 right there.
So that means
okay?
you could do that little bubble thing with the 1 and 125.
The bubble thing? You talking like that?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. It forms a right angle. Okay, do you see these two angles? They form a right angle. So that must mean they add up to what? 180 degrees. So, what do? What's the math? That's right. You just take 125 away from 180 to get angle 1. And what's that? 55? Okay. So this angle is 55. I'll just write that in there. Okay. Let's see. What else do you want to go for? Let's go angle 3. And this was, what angle is that? Is that 1? Okay, so that's 55 degrees. Let's find angle 3. You can find 2 or 3. It doesn't make any difference. You could do it a couple ways. A lot of people would look at this triangle and go, oh, 62 plus 55, and then do what? Take it away from 180. Or you can do it in one step. Anybody see that? Look, the 125. This is an exterior angle. Did you see this angle right here? If I took this triangle, extended this side, that's an exterior angle. What's true about the exterior angle? It's equal to the sum of the remote interior angles. So it means if this angle and this angle add up to be 125, how could I find angle 3 in just one step? You got it. Take 125 and take 62 away from it. That's probably the easiest way to do that one, isn't it? Now, again, you could have done this. You could have added 62 and 55 and then taken that away from 180. Blake, you're not eating in my room, are you? Sure you are. Okay, put it away. It's not lunchroom. All right, so that's a 3 and that's a 6. So angle 3 is what? 63 degrees. Everybody got that? All right, so that was kind of nice. You just find 125, take away 62, and you get 63. Easy enough. What about angle 2? You could do the same thing over here, couldn't you? Watch. This 125 now is an exterior angle. Do you see that? Here's this triangle. I extended this side. This is an exterior angle of that triangle. So if I just did what? Does that work right? Yeah, that works right, doesn't it? Yeah, 125. So I could just do what? 125 minus 32. Is that right? That didn't work right.
Add 125 and 32 up.
Oh, you know why? Because that's not an exterior angle. I was wondering why that wasn't going to work. I was like, there's no way that's going to work. Let's just do this. Let's just add them up. Yeah, let's just do it like that. Let's add up 125 and 32. All right, and that's what? 7, 5. That's 157. So if I add those up, that's 157. Now how do I find this one right here? Right, 180 minus 157. And that's 23. That looks better, doesn't it? So that's 23 degrees. Everybody with me? Do you understand why it didn't work before? Because this was not an exterior angle to this thing right here. The 55 is, though. Right. You could have done that. Exactly right. You could have done this. And I was just looking at the wrong angle. Because sometimes when there's a lot of stuff in there, it is a little confusing, and I should have seen this. Watch. See this angle right there? That 55? That's an exterior to this and this. So I could have just, instead of doing this stuff right here, I could have done it in one step. What could I have done? Just gone 55 minus 32, and you still get 23, don't you? Isn't it better to do things in one step than it would be in two steps? Yeah, I think so. Okay. You guys following me on this? Not fooling around, right? Okay. All right. Well, that's that. Let's move on to another kind of problem. All right, here's the picture right here. They tell you something very important. If all they showed you was this picture and said solve for x and y, you wouldn't really be able to solve for it. You might be able to make a guess, but you wouldn't be sure. All right? There's not too much on here to guess, but if you guessed, you probably got it right. But you got to know for sure what side's equal to what side, what angle is equal to what angle. And this will tell you. They call this the congruent statement. Remember that? This is a congruent statement. This is very, very important because it tells you what angles are equal to each other and it tells you what sides are equal to each other. If I just saw this picture and I didn't have any tick marks, I didn't know what was equal to what, I wouldn't be able to solve for anything. X, Y, what did I do? Oh, sorry. My bad. How's that? Is that better? All right, now watch this. Look at angle R right here. Now look, do you think angle R is equal to Y or Z? Probably not, because I wouldn't be able to set it equal to anything, right? So they made this ridiculously too easy. On the test, it may not be quite this easy, all right? But they did make it pretty easy, because there's really nothing else to set it equal to, right? So by default, you'd probably set those two things equal to each other. But let's just make sure we know which ones are equal. So look at R. Where is that? That's the first one in this triangle, isn't it? So you come over here. What's the first angle in this triangle? X. So R and X have to equal each other, okay, by the congruent statement. That's very important right there that you understand that. You see it? It's not just by looking at it and saying, oh, it looks like it is. Don't go by that, because I'm telling you, on the test, that'll get you into trouble if you do that. But we can see that angle R is equal to angle X, so let's set them equal to each other. So 4y minus 10 equals 3y plus 5. So we set them equal to each other. The math is very easy. Watch. Subtract a 3y from both sides, it's y. Add a 10 to both sides, and it's 15. And there's your answer. That's what y is. Let's do the same thing for x. Let's take a look at this, though. What side is this? It's RT. So look, here's R and here's T. What side on this triangle is equal to the side over here?
XZ.
XZ, right? See, RT, that's the first one and the third one, and that's equal to the first one and the third one over here, XZ, right? Tequila, you getting all this? So XZ, it's this side right here. Now, there's not that many other options, are there? I mean, it wouldn't be equal to anything else because that's the only thing with X here, and that's the only thing with X here. Again, I'll say it for like the third or fourth time now. It's not going to be this easy on the test, all right? But it'll be similar. It'll be same basic idea. So this thing is equal to this right here, so you set them equal to each other. And you go ahead and you solve for x. Subtract an x from both sides, you get an x. Add a 14 to both sides, and you get what? 35. And there's your two answers right there. All right? Don't make any assumptions about what you think is equal to what, you know, from here to here. On this one, you probably could get away with it. But on the test, there might be some other things written. There might be some other x's in here. There might be some other sides written and all that kind of thing. You've got to know what is exactly equal to what. Okay, enough of that. All right, here's the deal. This is what's given to you on this problem. Now, it says to prove it, but all we're trying to do is just mark up the thing and tell me why the triangles are congruent to each other. And that's marking your picture is part of getting the problem right. So here's what you're going to do. On the test, you are going to redraw the picture that I give you on the front of the test. You're not just going to take the front of the test and mark that up, all right? Because I don't check the front of the test for answers. I only check the answer sheet for answers. You understand that? Okay, so you redraw this. You don't have to write the given and the prove if you don't want to, but redraw the picture. Everybody got that? Okay. Can't be any more clear than that. We'll count, find out how many people didn't redraw the picture on the test. Hopefully 0 people. Hopefully you all wrote it. What's that? Then I would just yell at you by myself at my house when I'm grading your test. Okay? But that's all that'll happen to you. Look at this. Let's mark it up. XY, this top one is XY. WZ is the bottom one. They're parallel, so we mark them parallel to each other. XW is parallel to YZ. Everything that I've written in red here needs to be part of your answer. Everybody understand that? So I need to see those parallel lines written right there. That's all they tell you. And you have to prove, from that information, you got to prove that these two triangles are congruent to each other. Well, first of all, if this line is parallel to this one right here, this would be our transversal, wouldn't it? All right, so what must be true about angle 1 then?
It's equal to angle 3.
Angle 3. What's the reason for that? Alternate interior angles. Very good. Okay, so alternate interior angles are equal. So we know 1 and 3 are equal to each other. Now watch. See this line up here and this line down here? They're parallel to each other, and this is a transversal between those two lines as well. So what must be true? 2 and 4 must be equal. Notice what I've done. See all the markings? You have to mark all that stuff. Don't just mark everything. Don't mark W and Y. Don't mark XY equal to WZ. If you mark that stuff, it's going to be wrong because you can't tell that information from what's given. You got it? You can only mark the stuff that you can tell from what's given or what you can tell from the picture. There's one more thing, just looking at the picture, that you can tell is true about this. XZ, that's right. XZ equals XZ. Because it's shared. It's a shared side, isn't it? In both of these triangles. So look what I have now. I've got an angle. Talk to me. Got a side, and I got another angle, don't I? So one angle, a side, and an angle of one triangle equals an angle, a side, and an angle of the other triangle. Once I get that information, these two triangles are congruent. What's my reason? Angle, side, angle. You just write that. Everything in red is got to be your answer. Okay, don't just write angle, side, angle and just figure that's your answer. No, it's a two-part. You got to mark the picture up. After you've marked the picture up, then you tell why the triangles are congruent to each other. Can you say angle, angle, side on this? No, you can't. You can't say angle because, listen, we said this 100 times probably. The side is in between the two angles, right? You've got an angle, you've got a side, and you've got another angle. Look where the side is. The side is between the two angles. It's the included side, all right? If it's the included side, it's angle, side, angle, all right? It's not angle 1 and 2. I'm looking at these two angles of this triangle and these two angles of the other triangle. Okay? So, not yet. I'm almost there. So, it's angle, side, angle. Look, I got one arc, I got the side, I got two arcs. That's on that one triangle. And then I got what? One arc, the side, and the 2 arcs of the other triangle. So that's angle, side, angle. The side is in between. It's the included side between those 2 angles.